Thank you, Marty. That was a great demo. Now, if you want to learn how you can reimagine your business, please head on over to work.com after the show. Thanks for joining us over here at Salesforce Live for our amazing guest, Lukas Nelson. Thank you so much for being here. What a treat for everyone.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you.
So tell me, what have you been up to during this quarantine COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I've been writing a lot. I've probably written about 22 songs, and I've just been really productive. I learned how to play piano. I learned a Chopin tune uh, called it was a nocturne, one of his nocturnes, Opera 9, Nocturne number 1 in B flat minor.
Look at you, fancy.
Yeah, so I've always loved classical music, and I thought, well, I spent 4.5 months at our ranch in Austin, uh, with mom and dad. I'd have dinner with them at 5:30 every night, and dad's 87, he's up there, and so I definitely didn't go anywhere, didn't even go to the grocery store. It was all, I was just at the ranch, which is not a bad place to be. It's one of my favorite places, just outside of Austin. In fact, I've got a song called Just Outside of Austin I was going to play for y'all if y'all don't mind.
I would love to hear it. Let's just jump into it.
All right, sounds good. Cedar trees, the morning air, the way the dew sits on her hair so peacefully below a Texas sky. I think I'll leave her lying there, take a walk I don't know where, bathing in the sunlight in my life. I hear the sound of windy leaves, summer birds and gently flowing rivers, creeks and pools up from the spring. The music of the water on the rocks is getting louder as I walk towards whatever life may bring. Just outside of Austin, high as I've ever been, just outside of Austin, I think I fell in love with you again. I went out to play the other day, the city and its city ways, a time and place for everything you'd say. But I just want to sit at home, ride my horse or write a song, a little bit of weed and I'm okay. Those nights when it's just you and me, or maybe soon we could be three, it ain't so bad a place to raise a kid. Or maybe we should wait a while, no need to hurry nothing, I'm just saying I'd be happy if we did. Just outside of Austin, high as I've ever been, just outside of Austin, I think I fell in love with you again. I think I fell in love with you again.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful.
Thank
Now,
you.
listen, I know you are your own artist, but I have to tell you, I felt you channeling your father in that song.
Well, uh, it's kind of a song about how I grew up, and so I've got a little bit of dad, a little bit of mom, a little bit of everybody. You know, I grew up listening to the blues, and I listened to country music, and I listened to Bob Marley, and because I was in Hawaii when I grew up most of the time, so reggae is really big out there. Which is, we had, I don't think it was live, but we had been discussing Bob Marley as being one of your favorites, and
Yeah,
so, but I listen to all types of different music, and so I think that amalgamation of all the different types of music, eventually that's how any artist creates who they are, is they get a little bit of everything they listen to, and then that creates what becomes what their style eventually is.
absolutely. And you forgot to add in there classical too, right?
Oh
So
well, yeah, but that's always just kind of been a little thing that I didn't really tell many people, except now I can play a little bit of it. So you
we
know.
won't tell anybody else, but I'm
Oh
telling
no,
you,
I love Chopin. That's I like melody a lot, and when I'm writing, I like to incorporate melody that invokes emotion, and that I mean you can make. I think it's fascinating that you can actually really make a visceral,
mm,
emotive feeling come from someone without saying a word, just from the melody. Eh,
absolutely. And I think to your point of when you expose yourself to all the different genres, you're going to find pieces of yourself in all that different music, and you pull
exactly.
it together in this beautiful jambalaya that's yours, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you?
Jambalaya. That makes me want to go to New Orleans.
I love me some good jambalaya now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did listen to one of your songs off your new album, The Promise of the Real. Now, that is a deep, deep name for your band. Where did that come from? What's the story behind that?
Well, it's a statement for us. When I was shoot, we started the band now 12, 13 years ago, and we were huge Neil Young fans. And Neil Young has a song called "Walk On."
Mhm.
Some get stoned, some get strange. Sooner or later, it all gets real.
Mm,
And I thought, what a great thing to say. And for me, and I think what Neil was talking about is that for better or worse, what's real comes out. And that's the promise of the real. I think that, I think it's, and for him especially, and most of the artists that I gravitate towards, Dad, Neil, a big part of their appeal and what really connects people to them is that they're not striving for technical perfection in what they do. They're striving for the beauty and vulnerability of humanity
mm,
mixed with proficiency in artistry. So they've got a balance, a really great balance of, in many ways, it's like in Japan, there's an ancient Zen art of fixing cracks in pottery with gold.
mm,
So when a pot breaks, a sort of a Zen practice would be to seal the cracks with gold, so it becomes in its broken state even more beautiful than it was. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. To that, sometimes when they're broken, they can heal and be much more beautiful and strong than they ever were. And I think that's part of what the artistry of Dad and Neil and Bob Dylan and Paul Simon and all these folks that aren't technically, they're not like auto tuned, and
right.
it's not uh, electronic, and but it's human, and so that's part of what I never wanted to get away from. And also the name Promise of the Real is great to see on your marquee, because it reminds you every day of why you're doing it, and not to succumb to the temptations to try and chase some trend that isn't really who you are. It's about integrity.
I love that sealing the cracks with gold. That almost
Yeah.
sounds like it could be a song.
Yes, it could
All
be.
right.
It could be. Maybe you and I can write it together.
I'm down. Let's do it. Speaking of song, would you do another one for
Of
us?
course. Yeah, this one is called Speaking of. It's actually very appropriate for the times we're in because it was written by someone who lost a loved one, or by myself, about someone who lost a loved one in a very tragic way. And it's sort of about being in the hospital. And so here it is. It's called Set Me Down on a Cloud. I'm sitting in a room waiting on an answer, hoping that the Lord sees fit to let me leave. 'Cause if the news ain't good and you ain't coming back here, I'm gonna stay until my bones turn to leaves. I'm waiting on a word, hanging on a prayer. White walls like limbo, they keep my feet on the ground. And if I lose my baby, I'll tell you where they can lay me. Set me down on a cloud with my soul turned inside out. Well, they fixed me up good, but my heart's still bleeding. And there's only one thing in this world to let me heal. Baby, open up your eyes and tell me you're not leaving. And I'm gonna make you feel so good it won't feel real. I'm waiting on a word, hanging on a prayer. White walls like limbo, they keep my feet on the ground. And if I lose my baby, I'll tell you where they can lay me. Set me down on a cloud with my soul turned inside out. Set me down on a cloud with my soul turned inside out.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Soul turned inside out.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Now, was that one of your 22 songs that you said you've been writing?
No, that was written. That's on our self-titled record, "That Promise of the Real" record. That's
Okay.
actually the first song on that record.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and it's great because we got some great singers to do some real gospel-like stuff behind
Mm,
it, and it's uh, uh, it's a good recording of that record. Yeah.
wow. Now, with the 22 songs you've written, are you going to come out with a quarantine album?
Yeah, well, right now we're in the midst of. I actually have an archive unreleased of about 75 songs
What?
that we haven't put out. So what we're doing right now is looking through all of those and picking the best songs, including those 22 I just wrote,
Wow.
and trying to make a real great record to come out hopefully
Well, I'm
next year.
sure a great record will. Would you gift us with another song, one more song?
Absolutely. This is one that I wrote. This is from our last record, and this is this one kind of came together and seems to have taken on a life of its own. Also, it's called "Turn Off the News and Build a Garden."
Wow.
I believe that every heart is kind. Some are just a little underused. Hatred is a symptom of the times, lost in these uneducated blues. And I just want to love you while I can. All these other thoughts have me confused. I don't need to try to understand. Maybe I'll get up, turn off the news. Turn off the news and build a garden, just my neighborhood and me. We might feel a bit less hardened, we might feel a bit more free. Turn off the news and raise the kids, give them something to believe in. Teach them how to be good people, give them hope that they can see. Hope that they can see. Turn off the news and build a garden with me. Trust builds trust. Oh, that negativity's a bust. Trust builds trust. Don't you wanna be happy? Turn off the news and build a garden, just my neighborhood and me. We might feel a bit less hardened, we might feel a bit more free. Turn off the news and raise the kids, give them something to believe in. Teach them how to be good people, give them hope that they can see. Hope that they can see. Turn off the news and build a garden with me. Turn off the news and build a garden with me.
Oh, that was just so comforting. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so the lyrics, amazing, and how relevant.
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of people were sending us over the quarantine. You know, I'd kind of do a little thing where I'd post twice a week or so. I'd post just a video, a cover here and there, and I'd do that song. And a lot of people were sending in their gardening videos where people were actually starting their gardens and, you know, for the first time ever getting to work with the land. And I think there's something real important about not being informed, but about turning everything off for a little while and getting into the getting your hands dirty and getting into the dirt and feeling the earth and understanding why it's so important to do that. I think we're all
Reconnecting with
creators.
nature,
Yeah,
reconnecting with nature. So getting grounded, literally. Yeah.
literally getting grounded. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am right now grounded in gratitude that you have gifted us your beautiful voice and talent and skills and lyrics. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm grounded in gratitude also.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us and inspiring so many. I can't wait to hear the next album. I think I just one of the songs I listened to was Find Yourself.
Yeah, find
Yeah,
yourself.
super soulful. I was
Oh,
like, this got like a little church vibe going on
yeah.
in here too.
Well, I think what we're going for is a little country soul. It's kind of like,
Going for you, got it.
yeah. Well,
You nailed that. Thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us. We really appreciate you sharing your gifts and talents with all of us and inspiring us. Can't wait to hear these other songs that were birthed out of quarantine. I'm sure they're powerful and so engaging as well.
thank you, Leah, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you all for joining us today. You know, you can find more of our Leading Through Change stories at salesforce.com/blog. Now, if you're interested in supporting the amazing work of Televerde Foundation, please go to televerdefoundation.org/take-action. You can see the link on your screen again, televerdefoundation.org/take-action. Now, before we wrap up, one more reminder to join us in making millions of people worldwide not go hungry during this crisis. If you can, please go to salesforce.com/WFP and joining us in helping this organization. Through July 31st, 2020, Salesforce will be matching donations up to $150,000. Now, we will be back with our next Leading Through Change this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Please take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.